tallest in the team, Will's got a big reputation and heart of effort. He always puts in and gets 100%. Crowd cheering from his lung-busting runs down the left side. Loves to see the goal too, and has been awarded with a Magic Goal of the Year award for that unforgettable night up at Maitland, where he steals out everything. Games today, 102 and 21 goals in those games. Will, please come forward. Some photos of the parents after as well. Next up, we have Ryan Ensor, games to date 111, first year 2019, goals to date 6. A fan favourite and a driver of our culture at our club. He's a previous winner of the Supporters Player of the Year award. Loves the organising shindig, especially with the old boys and downstairs in the dungeon. It's great to see him back on the park after an extended period battling knee problems, and we thank him for maintaining his efforts behind the scenes, now realised with success on the field with our first grade team. So Ryan Ensor, please step forward. And last but most definitely not least, Jeremy Wilson, games to date 171, celebrating his 150th Magic Super Magician milestone. First year, 2017, goals to date 13. Captain Courageous, leading from the middle. He drives the squad behind the scenes as a model footballer who gets the job done. Jeremy has shown himself to be a versatile player who can play anywhere in the backline or midfield, and this versatility has enabled him to be a mainstay of our success for the past 4 years. With numerous Player of the Year awards under his belt and in the trophy cabinet, we can't wait until he breaks the 200 mark for Broadmeadow Magic. Jeremy Wilson, congratulations, 150 Super Magician. We might just do one real quick. Might just do one real quick team photo and then we'll get you in for the fixture.
Good afternoon and welcome to Finals Football. It's major semi-final Sunday. We've got an absolute blockbuster lined up for you this afternoon as the Premier's Broadmeadow Magic face off with the red-hot Weston Bears with a golden prize on the line, a direct ticket to the 2025 Northern New South Wales NPL Grand Final. The equation's simple. Win today, you get next weekend off, a full week to reset and prepare for the decider. Lose and you go the long way round, hosting a sudden death prelim final against the Lambton Jaffers, who yesterday got through with an impressive 3-1 win in the elimination semi. You can feel the buzz building around this one. Magic have been the benchmark all year, lifting the premiership trophy and setting the standard for attacking football. But this Western Bears side, they're riding a serious wave of momentum. Broadmeadow got the better of Western twice in the regular season, but finals are different, and this Western side looks sharp, hungry and more dangerous than ever under Q Yellians. There's history, there's rivalry, and there's a shot at glory just 2 weeks away. The Premiers chasing their third straight grand final, while the Bears are dreaming of returning to the big stage for the first time in over a decade. I'm Chris McPherson, bringing you all the action from a sun-bathed Magic Park this afternoon. Alongside me is Edgeworth Eagles captain Andy Powiak. Andy, you've faced both these sides multiple times this season. What are you looking forward to today?
I think just a hotly contested game of football. Two very good teams, two of the most consistent teams across the whole season. So, two different styles of football. I think Western being more possession-based and look to break teams down with their combination play in the front third, and Magic very much so a team that looks to hit teams on the counter with their pace and speed. So I'm looking forward to a good game of football with two different styles of play.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. The pitch here, there was some question marks when it was announced overnight that it was going to go ahead here at Magic Park, but we're talking about it off air. This pitch looks as good as it has since the start of the season before all this absolute deluge of rain we've had over the last 4 to 5 months.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's been in the best condition. It's been in a while. Certainly when I last played on it, it wasn't too crash hot. It certainly looks better than that. Still looks a little like it'll be a little bit bumpy today. But yeah, I think it's looked the best it's looked in a while.
In terms of that, do you think that's going to, I guess, determine how these sides might go about playing football? They might need to use a little bit more aerial ball. A guy like Chris Hurley, we know those diagonal balls out for the wingers, those sorts of things for the archbolds and the like. He's very good at that. That could come to the fore?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. I know Q's very, very strict with how he wants his team to play, and he wants his team to play as much as possible, but I think he's also flexible in the fact that he knows he's got that weapon in the locker of Hurley who can knock those long balls in behind for the likes of Blake Archbold and Hatfield and whatnot on the in behind for the space.
Yeah, it'll certainly be interesting to see how it plays out, what the structures are. Let's take a look at how the two teams do line it. We'll start with the Western Bears. In goals, Gerald Roebuck in jersey 1. Number 2, Brock Beveridge. He'll be starting up front. 3 is Mana Iwasaki. He'll be at centre back. 4, Dom Archibald out wide on the back line. 6, that man we talked about, Chris Hurley. 7, Connor Evans will more than likely play that sweeping midfield role. 9, Chris Hatfield, their leading striker. 11, Blake Archibald. 12 is Cooper Buswell. 18, the American import and superstar Burke Farling. And number 41, Musa Kamara. Their substitutes, 30, Jack Butler. 8, Dylan Burston. 10, Aaron Niankuru. 13, Ryan Blackburn. 14, Paul Sakawi. 15, Kayla Law. And 17, Ashton Black. They are, of course, coached by Q Yallians. And then for the home side, the Broadmeadow Magic. Lewis Alvarez will be in goals. Number 2 is Sam Camper. 3, Ben Diamond. His centre-back partner is 4, Tom Beecham. Making up the rest of the back line is number 5, Will Ingram. Number 6, a little bit of a surprise selection just for his second start in his career, Regan Jose. Number 8 is Jack Simmons. 11, Jared Baker. Number 17, Ezra Palambini. 21 is James Kresner. And 22, the mid-season signing, Cody Nancaro. Their substitutes, number 44, Zach Bowling. Number 9, Jaden Stewartson. Number 12, Jesse Hill. 15, Jake Callan. 16 is Tom Parks. 19, Ryan Ensor. And 20, Jeremy Wilson. They are, of course, coached by Jim Kresner. As we see the two teams take the field. And Andy, we talked about it before. That's a little bit of a surprise selection, I would think, for most people here. Young Regan Jose, or Reggie, as we were running with the other week against Cooks Hill, he made his debut in their final regular season game, and he's done enough to hold his spot here.
Yeah, well, seemingly Jim Kresnar has seen enough from him in one start to have the faith in him to put him in the starting 11 in such a big game. So, yeah, he's started him over the likes of Ryan Ensor and Jeremy Wilson. So he thinks that he's clearly up to the level.
Certainly does. We might just take a moment. They're pausing here at the ground for a moment. Silence for the passing of a Broadmeadow Magic Life member.
Victor joined the club as a player during our Red Star era, and after his playing days, joined the committee and answered the call to assist Broadmeadow Magic in realising our dreams here at Magic Park, and volunteered countless hours to a Magic Park to get it to where it is today. Victor passed away suddenly very recently, and it's been a huge shock to the club, and we pass on our condolences to the extended Stojanowski family, and to pay our respects, we'd like to pause for a moment's silence. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, we're all set for major semi-final action. Winner goes to the grand final. Loser hosts the Lambton Jaffers next week. It is a second bite of the cherry, but you want to find the most direct route you can to the grand final. Magic coming off a week off. Weston coming off a Monday night win against Edgeworth, and I promise, Andy, I won't keep bringing it up. But obviously, these two sides have clashed twice. Magic have got the results on the board during the regular season, does that carry much weight when you come into these games? If you're Magic, are you leaning into that? If you're Weston, are you saying it's a clean slate, it's finals?
Yeah, I think the latter. I think, come finals football, the past results don't matter. It comes down to whoever wants it most on the day. So I think Weston will be forgetting those two results, and I think Magic likewise, and just, playing the game on its merit. In
terms of the lineups, and again, you could probably find 10 on each side, or 11 realistically at the moment, even some of the guys coming off the bench. Who do you think are going to be the key cogs in terms of how the two teams approach this?
For Magic, I think two of their biggest players this season have been James Kresnar and Jack Simmons. So I think, they've been the mainstays in that team for the majority of the season, even when they've had injuries with their key attacking players. So I think they'll be key for them today. And for Weston, I think Burke Farling's been, a big reason why they finished third and why they're in this game today. So I think those players are going to have a big impact on the game.
I think there's plenty of people that argue that Burke Farling has possibly been the most influential player in this competition this year. We were talking about him before. Everyone you talk to waxes lyrically about, how he works, his skill, his strength, all of these things that are there, and straight away we see the ball pushed out wide in front of him. The other thing I'm interested to see, both these sides, some depth on the bench. When you have a look at the Western Bears, they've got Dylan Burst and Aaron Nyakuru as two of the leading names who would start in most sides, and similarly, you touched on it before, you've got Ryan Enser, Jeremy Wilson, Tom Parks coming off the bench for Broadmeadow. That could be, if this is level late in the game, who can come on, make that impact, that 60 to 80 minute mark, that could be quite crucial as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, not only in 90 minutes, but, the game, if it's close, could potentially go to extra time. So having that depth for both sides could be crucial in the end.
We saw that in the women's major semi-final yesterday, Charlestown and Maitland. That went to extra time. It ended up going to penalty shootout. It was a tough day for the Maitland Women's Club. They lost 2 semi-finals in penalty shootouts, which is it's tough losing one, but losing first grade and reserve graders. All of a sudden we see an opportunity here with Archbold playing it back out. Evans drops it back. They just decide to reset Weston, pressing up hard and high early. That ball's been fed through, somehow found a gap. Hatfield nearly pounced on it. It was just cleared at the last moment. I'm still not sure how that ball managed to find its way all the way through the pack from defence to attack in one pass. Now the throw, Hatfield does well to position himself. It's cleared away, though, by Simmons. Now push back through Hatfield, dropping back into the pocket, lays it out for Burston. Apologies, Buswell. Now Iwasaki pushes it forward in front of Kamara. He can't get there. Well-directed pass. Alambini taken away by Archbold. That's Blake. Drops it all the way back to Hurley. And just cleared away wide over the line. Just over halfway by Camper. It's interesting, these two sides. When we have a look at some of the other sides in the competition, yourselves, Lambton, more traditional centre-back pairings, we don't see the big physical centre-back pairings for either of these sides. They're much more mobile, dynamic backlines.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, Magic have one of the best centre-back pairings in the comp in Beecham and Diamond. So, and Weston have some really good centre-backs too in Hurley and Iwasaki. So, yeah, they're not your sort of traditional, big, burly centre-backs, but they're good on the ball, and they sort of suit their style of play as well. But in saying that, Beecham and Diamond are very physical too.
Yeah, Diamond, an interesting one. He, a little bit like McNaughton, who plays alongside Toppel Stanley at Lambton, converted centre-backs, if you will. Didn't start out their career there, but I'll tell you what, you wouldn't know it with either of them. Again, Riley McNaughton was absolutely on show yesterday in his 200th game, showing that he's like a fine wine, getting better with age. There's an opportunity here. Baker turns on the afterburners, looks to get around Roebuck. Roebuck brings it down, and the referee points to the spot. That was pretty clear cut, and Jared Roebuck will get a yellow card. You can understand why Roebuck did that, but it was always going to be a penalty.
Yeah, I think he had to make a play for the ball. Otherwise, Baker would have just had a tap in. But yeah, unfortunately for Weston, he's collected him.
He has, and hopefully nothing too significant. I'm sure there was no malintent from Roebuck. It was just last line scramble. The Baker's still down. Roebuck showing some concern. And barely underway here, and all of a sudden Magic have his chance to send the home fans into raptures with a penalty.
Yeah, I think that was a good example of Magic's speed and pace on the counter. There was a turnover in midfield from Weston, and in one pass it just put Baker in behind and led to a penalty.
He has absolutely electric pace off the mark, Jared Baker. I think one of the best examples, we saw him absolutely pick apart Lambton in the Charity Shield at the start of this year, which feels like a lifetime ago. It was only 6 months ago. When he gets free, if you give him an inch, even off a handicap against most people, he's going to win a 40-yard sprint and dash as he did there, and he just got so clear. And as we said, they're mobile, they're quick, the Western backline, but they just stood no chance once he got sort of shoulder to shoulder with them with the ball at his feet.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. He's got electric pace, and he's very hard to keep up with once he has that space in behind.
It's going to be Beecham v. Roebuck here, the captain, looking to get his side on the score sheet from the penalty spot. A hush falls over Magic Park. Early stages here. Magic looking to take the lead. Beecham steps up. He gets a hand to a Roebuck, but isn't enough. Tom Beecham gets Magic the lead here early, and they're up 1-0 in the major semi-final. It's the textbook penalty take. You don't usually see the centre-back stepping up, but the captain did the job nicely.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a very good penalty, and he's been a very reliable source of goals from the penalty spot for Magic this year.
Roebuck did everything right there as a keeper too. You couldn't do much more with that. It was perfectly placed towards that bottom corner. He got a fingertip on it, but it just wasn't enough to push it wide. And now Weston find themselves chasing the game. We know they've got goals in them. Won't concern them too much early doors, going behind by one. Kamara tries to take on Palambini. When you concede a goal so early, Andy, does it change the mentality about how you go about things, or is it just about resetting and getting back to the game plan?
I think you should just reset and get back to the game plan, but if you go ahead early, sometimes, you get a little bit comfortable and you think, that if you go up a goal early, and it'll just take you through to the 90 minutes, but you can't switch off. You've got to keep going, and I'm sure that'll light a bit of a fire under Weston to get their game going.
It's an interesting one, I guess the mental piece of it too, and what that goal does depending on which side you are. You say it's easy to get comfortable. It's also easy now if it starts to hold in at 1-0, you start to become focused on the clock and you can overplay your hand if you're Western, but there's 80 plus minutes still to go, right? Like it's back to the drawing board. They've got a game plan that's worked effectively all year.
Yeah, that's right. There's still a long time in the game to go, so you definitely don't drop your head just because you've conceded one goal.
Sliding effort from Arsbold there. He missed everything but managed to get the throw. Pushes it forward in front of Buswell. Just deflects it off a defender, and we're going to have the first corner of the match. That's something we were talking about before, Burke Farling. I was talking to off air. The old school look. He goes the short corner. No, he doesn't. Pulls back. The old school look. He's the only man out there, I think, with the jersey tucked in. The purists and old school football fans would love that. Farling. Buswell presents an option short. Over the pack. Beecham gets ahead to it. Clears it outside the 18-yard box. Archbold pushes it back for Farling. Cuts towards the byline. Pulls back. Two defenders pressing on him. He gets past Simmons, but can't get past Kresner. Simmons gets the ball back. Now they work around the outside of Weston. Early slides in. Looked like he got the ball first. Cam Camper seems more aggrieved by that than anyone else. Assistant referee right there. Kresner's still down, holding his ankle, and I think to the referee's credit, I think looking at that live, Andy, it looked like Hurley got the ball and then came into the ankle with the studs up, which is why it'll just be a foul and probably not a yellow card.
Yeah, I think he did get the ball first, but he did go in studs up, so I think that's the issue they have with that challenge.
Chris Hatfield doing his best to get the ire of the locals by wanting to just play on while Kresner's off the field. Emotion building up already. Might be the fuse that sparks things alight a little here. The crowd's gotten into it all of a sudden. As Luis Alvarez kicks that up into the wind. That's gone about 75 metres on the fly. That is a fair kick even with that breeze behind him. We're going to end up with a goal kick at the other end though, and Roebuck just plays it out. Iwasaki happy to play with the ball at his feet and move forward and play it out. Farling for Hurley. Farling pushing forward, getting through plenty of work as he does. Beecham's just been sniped there. He's found an uneven patch in the turf. It's a good battle. And Reggie Jose getting right into Burke Farling. We talked about it pre-game about how you go about these things. You go out there expecting reputations from these players that are experienced in the season when you're a young gun. And well, first time of asking, he's gotten straight involved. So not backwards in comings forwards. And I would expect that's what Jim Kresnar would have been looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, you have some players that sort of, you know, get nervous and shrivel under lights, but you've got others that they're not really fazed by it, and he seems like that's the way he's going about it.
I guess it's about how you see it, right? Is it an opportunity? And, you know, when you've got the confidence of a coach like Jim Kresnar, and again, if you're a guy like Reggie here, then there's obviously so much opportunity too with Broadmeadow, with the Australian Championship coming. If you're a young guy starting to come through and secure your spot in this lineup now, chance to be in the shop window and be part of the Australian Championship, you can very quickly catapult yourself forwards in your football career. Yeah, absolutely. It's not only a big opportunity for him to cement his place in the starting 11 at Magic, but yeah, you're right. You know, on the big stage in the B League, you know, there's certainly a lot of exposure there, so you could also attract the interest of other clubs too. Clubbed forward by Diamond. Palambini pushes it wide. There's no one there. Immediately pushing forward Archbold. Out for Farling. Archbold will try and overlap again. Farling cuts back infield. Under pressure. Camper working hard. Early. Farling again. Kresnar with a little nudge. A foul call. Weston really utilising as much of this pitch as they can. Lob forward for Archibald. Nice touch back in. Lays it off. Opportunity. Missed touch. Parried away. Blake Archibald got the ball in from his brother. Just couldn't quite get the connection he was looking for, but does earn his side a corner. That's the first shot in anger from Weston, but looking promising, and unsurprisingly, you get the Archibald brothers combining, Andy. It's usually a dangerous piece. Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, I think Weston took the more direct route there, and it seemed to almost pay off. So just a ball in behind, straight ball in behind, and another pass into the box, and they got a shot on target, which, you know, almost resulted in a goal. So they might look to mix up how they play, you know, a bit shorter and a bit longer to keep Magic guessing. Farling curls this in. Alvarez. Chris Hurley took his opportunity there, you feel. A little bit of gamesmanship. Just saw that Alvarez was comfortable taking it. So threw himself towards the ball and took a little bit of a free hit. He's a smart footballer, Chris Hurley. Referees will be keeping an eye, but they'll let him have that one. Archibald back in for Evans. Thought about lining up for Hatfield. Puts it in front of Buswell. Out for Farling. Farling leaves for Kamara. All of a sudden, straight away on the break. And Caro. Farling. 4 red jumpers around him. They put the ball out in front of Hatfield. He can cross it to the back post. Well headed away for the time being. Beecham. Camper's going to try and keep this in. Won't quite be quick enough. Again, that looked a little more threatening. Maybe the direct route might be the go-to for the Bears. Plan B already looking like it's taking some effect.
Yeah, absolutely. The ball in behinds looked really threatening, and I think Magic seemed to be falling into a bit of a pattern now that we talked about, where you go a goal up early and you sort of look to protect that one goal lead rather than continue to build on it. And Weston are really applying a lot of pressure here, so I think they need to get a little bit higher up the pitch and put a little bit more pressure on Weston, otherwise an equaliser might be coming soon.
Weston would love to get one back here. What will they conjure? Joe's the big job of trying to wrangle Buswell here. Come in direct, spills down, cleared away. Good clearance from Magic. Archbold, I'm not quite sure that's the header he's looking for, but he'll take it nonetheless. That was good work, Ben Diamond, getting that clearance well out of their half. Now Weston reset. Ball push forward. Hatfield tries to get in after it. It'll be a throw in for Weston. Interesting to note that with his new plan B, they might have changed their formation a little bit. Blake Archbold playing up in the front line with the front three now. Waiting for the second ball off the field. I guess if you're looking for those aerial balls and those balls in behind, the pace of Archbold there's going to be a nice little threat as well, Andy. Yeah,
absolutely. Having a three-pronged attack of Hatfield, Beveridge and Blake Archbold, if you're looking to go a little bit more direct and in behind, then certainly they're all a threat.
Look at Beveridge covering territory there, just takes it away. Pace closes the gap, Strength takes the ball. Dom Archbold now lays it back in for Hurley. He lofts it over. I think that was intended for Kamara, but Kamara and Archbold were watching each other, and Ingram just came in and took it away. Palambini. Archbold going to need to be cautious there. Palambini cuts into the 18-yard box. Evans does well, uses shoulder-to-shoulder contact to take it away, and Hurley now brings it down the right wing. Kamara will travel. He's got space in front of him. He'll take what's offered. Hatfield holding his width. Kamara, not quite the pass. Misstep there by Ben Dom. You won't see that often. Recovers and gets it back to Alvarez, who clubs it forward. All of a sudden now, Jared Baker. Roebuck's out of the box, misses him. Nice little touch on from Baker. Roebuck coming back. Pushed across the face. Palambini, an air swing. They've dodged a bullet, the Bears.
Yeah, I don't think Roebuck needed to come for that. I think he's a bit of a misjudgment from him there, and he's gotten away with it.
And Caro now. He's going to wind up and take a shot. He tried to thread it through. Baker. He's been an ever-present threat. It's an interesting one. You wonder if that previous run got in his head when Baker broke through, and so he jumped the gun there. But Farling goes the other way. Manages to spin the ball off the outside of the defender in Beecham, and now Beveridge just draws in a little tap from Diamond, and they'll get another corner. Plenty of practice from the set piece early for the Bears.
It's really become end-to-end in the last few minutes, hasn't it, Chris?
Really opening up, which is, look, it's good when the sun's out. Open field football, plenty of space to use here at Magic Park. It's a nice, wide and open pitch, so teams are using as much of it as they can, and we're seeing the skill come to the fore, which is great. I just still can't get over the fact that we're at football and it's sunny. Seems like we're not meant to be here. Especially considering the last couple of weeks. I don't need to tell you that after the hail at Jack McLaughlin only 8 days ago. That was one of the more wild things I've seen.
Yeah, it was.
Farling, the left arm aloft. Comes in, hits it with the right boot, curls it back towards the back post. Iwasaki was there, but he was beaten to the ball by Palambini, and we'll have another corner this time on the other side. And Burke Farling says, I'm not coming across there after he just made a lung-busting sprint to earn the first corner. And you can't really blame him.
No, not at all. And yeah, like you said earlier, it's interesting to see that Weston have already changed shape to a 4-3-3 from a 4-4-2. So Q's obviously seen that it hasn't been working. in the first 10-15 minutes.
Evans hits that one in, no target there. Beveridge, will he wind up? No, he taps on. A little bit of confusion between he and Farling. Appeals for a handball. Iwasaki slides in. Referee waves it away. Archibald tracks back and takes it. I don't know whether they would have got a much better shot away, but a little bit of miscommunication there between Farling and Beveridge with that shot. Would have been interesting if it had gone in, who would have claimed the goal.
Yeah, it was good defending from Weston there.
Yeah, Evans feeds it forward. Hatfield beats Diamond. Doesn't get enough power on it, though, to really challenge Alvarez. Maybe so careful as a defender. Chris Hatfield, if you let him just get to that outside or inside shoulder, either shoulder with a step, and he can be gone on you in a flash. We've seen so many teams fall victim to it this season.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got pace to burn, and he's very good one-on-one, taking players on.
Joe's nice little ball in for Palambini. Awkward one goes through the legs of Hurley, but Roebuck deals with it. Hurley just meandering out with the ball at his feet. Decides that he'll go back to Roebuck. Iwasaki now. Comes into Kamara. He uses the full width of the pitch. Misdirected pass, Kamara. His radar hasn't quite been on today. Been a couple of off-angle passes for him. Iwasaki thought about waiting for that to go across the line. Decides better of it. Goes into Hurley. Archibald starts to spread the width and come back to the right, however. Dom Archibald feeding it back to the captain in Hurley. Magic just trying to form the block and prevent the progress. Doing it pretty effectively at the moment. Roebuck's going to have to go back down this right side. Iwasaki can't control it. Good pressure by Magic. And straight away take the quick throw, Baker. Sandwich between Evans and Iwasaki. Iwasaki pushes it across the line. It's taking a deflection, so Kamara will take the throw. Kamara goes long, looking for the frame of Beveridge. Archibald chipped forward. Hatfield in a foot race now with Beecham. This will be a good little battle. He's got Archibald there. He's got Archibalds on both sides. And can't get it away. Beecham does well and recovers the captain for Magic. Then Caro straight away down the right. Magic switched defence into attack in the blink of an eye. Then Caro v Farling. Little heavy touch. Loses his footing and Burke Farling comes away. Winmore contest and he loses the American. Kamara. Want to control that with his chin in the end, but it doesn't matter as long as it's effective, I suppose. Plays it infield for Beveridge. Plays it back on for Kamara. They'll be looking for a cross. Alvarez just reads that so well. Overcooks for Hatfield. And Alvarez snatches it out, two hands cleanly, and gets us moving. Iwasaki. Palambini took some real umbrage with that. It didn't look like there was a lot in it, I think. Iwasaki just left the right hand out as he turned, and Palambini, you might have thought that he'd taken him with 2 feet studs up the way he reacted.
Yeah, Magic love appealing for fouls, and I just think Iwasaki just wanted to foul. He wanted to stop him getting passing. He knew once that ball went over his head, he was gone. So he just fouled him. There was nothing too much in it.
It's always interesting seeing how some players go about it. There's obviously an art in football to earning a foul sometimes, you know, maybe just that little bit of added sauce on it to turn what might have just been a regulation bump into a foul or a foul into a yellow card. And some teams are very good at it. Other teams, I think, are more vociferous about it. But match officials have got to be slightly aware. I mean, you as an opponent would be aware of which teams have which tendencies with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And which players.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're well within your rights to appeal for fouls and give the referee a decision to make. But, yeah, you don't want to go too far over the top with it.
A little bit of confusion there. Weston thinking it was their throw. Magic have got it, though. And Ingram will take the throw, looking for an open option. Goes infield. Laid off for Simmons. He goes back to Diamond. He's going to go all the way back to the keeper in Alvarez. He'll retreat and take it inside his 18-yard box for safety. And he drives long. Nice little work there, Hatfield, but again, that battle. Beecham manages to take it away, the opening goal scorer.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a good battle all day, that one, between Hatfield and Beecham.
Two players that are very much at the top of their craft. That was a pretty agricultural style tackle there from Archbold, or attempted tackle. And Carrow can't control it though, and Weston will get away with another throw. He's certainly not backwards in coming forwards with his slide tackles, Blake Archbold.
Yeah, he definitely puts himself about. Very industrious player, works his socks off, and yeah, he's not afraid to roll his sleeves up and do the dirty work.
Kamara, again, just can't quite find the direction with those passes, Musa. Players have those days sometimes. I'm sure he'll shake it off shortly. Ingram, caught in two minds, gets it back to Alvarez. He goes long, not as long as some of his earlier kicks today. Diamond, looking at options. He's going to have to go back to Alvarez. Keeper talks him through it. He gets under this one, plenty of height, backspin on it. Drops nicely for Baker. Iwasaki gets a boot in, but Baker taps it on for himself to his own advantage, and there goes those afterburners. Jared Baker looking, Jared Baker striking, Jared Baker scores. Magic double their lead, and again, both times the goals have come from a penetrating run to Jared Baker. The first a penalty, and now he does all the work himself.
Yeah, it was a bit fortuitous with the up and under from Alvarez, but it was taken down very well, and then once he got him behind, I don't think there was going to be any other outcome.
He's so good once he gets through that line and one-on-one. He didn't quite get the chance to convert the first time. This time, makes no mistake. Puts it into the bottom right corner, and Magic double their lead. Just the sheer pace once he puts his head down. As you say, it was probably a fortuitous touch. I'm sure he'll tell people that's exactly what he was designing it to do, but managed to play it down, deflect it off, and sat up for him nicely. And as soon as he saw that opening with the ball in front, he was away. You don't need to offer him a second invitation, Jared Baker.
Yeah, absolutely not. I'm sure if you asked him, he'll tell you that's exactly what he intended. Not 100% sure it was, but once it got to him and he touched around Hurley in the back line and he was one-on-one with the keeper, he was never going to miss.
Yeah, they're those ones. It's like when you cross it from out wide and it somehow manages to befuddle the keeper and find its way into the back of the net. You're always shooting, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Evans working now. Weston with the work to do, a 2-goal deficit. Magic just the one loss this season. That seems a big outcome for it to make it a second here. For Weston to come back from 2-0 down. Plenty of time to come, and all of a sudden here's Buswell coming into the 18-yard box. Takes a strike, parried down by Alvarez. Buswell tries to control it. Kresner breaks it up. And Camper will clear it somewhat and falls for Farling. He cuts into the 18-yard box. Will he take a strike himself? I think he will. No, plays it in. Well broken up again. Then Diamond, ever reliable. The Englishman just there again. Out wide, Archbold. Plays it into the box. Back post. Farling trying to get it to Hatfield again. Who's there? Ben Diamond. Weston continue to turn the pressure here. They're not going away, and I'll tell you what, they'd be scratching their head as to how they didn't quite manage to score there.
Yeah, absolutely. Really turning up the pressure, Weston. Very unlucky not to score a goal there, but Magic defended that passage of play really well.
Just a little bit of communication there. That Ben Diamond with an injury. That's going to be a... you can see him hobbling. Jim Kresner looking puzzled. Yeah, Diamond's down on the ground here. They're going to have to. I mean, they've got a pretty handy replacement in Ryan Ensor sitting on the bench, but not something that Jim Kresner would have wanted to go to this early in the game.
Yeah, not at all. I think he's going to be a big loss for them. Not as you said, not a bad replacement in Ryan Ensor, but I don't think centre back's his typical position. More a midfielder, can do a job at centre back, but yeah, I think they'll definitely miss. It's a big miss for Magic.
Yeah, well, it's one of those interesting ones, isn't it? Ensor's played a bit of centre-back, I know, this year a couple of times when they've had forced changes or they've been a little lighter on numbers. So, as you say, his probably preferred role is midfield. But in terms of that, I guess when you look at a Ben Diamond too, he plays a little bit. I mean, he originally was a midfielder, I understand, and has slotted back there in recent years. But we've seen just over the last, that prolonged attacking raid from Weston twice, he was the man that stepped up. So, big boots for Ensor to fill. Certainly got plenty of experience. We saw him presented with a couple of other players. What I understand is essentially the life membership to Broadmeadow Magic for 150, I think it was, club games, 100 or 150. So a stalwart of the club, and he'll love to have the chance here to show to Jim Kresner why, maybe he might need to be in consideration for the starting 11 for either the preliminary or grand final, depending on what the next game is for Magic.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely got a lot of experience, Ryan Ensor. I played with him almost 10 years ago with the Jets youth team, so I know exactly the type of player he is, and he works very hard, very industrious player. He might not have the engine he used to, so maybe he might be a little bit more suited to centre back these days, but he's still technically very good, and he should slot in pretty seamlessly at centre back.
And it is going to be a direct change. He'll go to left centre back, and look, as you say, he works. He's got good technical skills, and he doesn't mind getting physical. So they're pretty good traits if you're plugging someone into centre back, I would have thought.
Yeah, absolutely. Not a bad replacement at all.
We'll see how it plays out. Whether Weston maybe try and take that opportunity. Maybe Chris Hatfield. To be fair to Ryan Ensor, we know that Ben Diamond's mobility is absolutely one of his strengths as Iwasaki clubs this across. So whether Hatfield might try and get to the outside shoulders of Ensor. We'll see how it plays out. I'm sure that'll be in Chris Hatfield's mind. He's very thoughtful about the way he goes about things.
Yeah, for sure. I think out of the two, if Hatfield is going to be targeting Ensor or Beecham one-on-one, I think he'd be happier to see Ensor one-on-one for sure.
All comes out, Farling there. Runs into the referee. Not happy about the fact that his run was checked. Ensor plays it across now. Ingram. Ensor with his first touch. Finds his target. Ingram putting it out in front. Iwasaki appealing for offside, and the flag does go up. Jared Baker just going on a roundabout tour of the world with the football afterwards, just trying to frustrate Mana Iwasaki, I think. The mind games. Certainly some players that, and I'm sure, I won't ask you to name any names, I'm sure there's some that come to your mind straight away of guys that just like to press those buttons after things like that and just get there and try and stir up, get the emotion to the surface of someone else, get some reactions.
Yeah, a few names come to mind for sure. Just those little niggly things that tend to annoy you during the game, especially when things aren't going your way.
Strong contact there as Hurley tries to launch the ball downfield. Simmons chips it back. Hurley with the header again. Farling takes it away from Simmons. Archbold. Magic defending in numbers. Evans. Buswell just handed it to Nankaro. Nankaro, can he find a ball to feed Baker? No, he's going to have to drop it back. Jose. Farling goes after him. Ball turned over by Palambini. Jose not backwards in coming forward, but both he and Palambini are left in the wake of Burke Farling. Plays it infield. Archibald. Evans. Hurley. Tries to get this out for Hatfield. Ingram gets a header to it though. Evans intercepts. Kamara calling for it. He's got width and space, but Evans undertouches it. And straight away a turnover. Nankaro. Kamara chasing. Baker lofts it forward. Archibald does enough just to push it wide away from Palambini and force him to pursue. Jose. Simmons. Early stages, Jose has looked as good as anyone out there in the midfield. He hasn't had a huge amount of involvement, but it's looked strong. Happy to get into the contest.
Yeah, I think he's just kept his game simple, and that's all you need to do as a 6, especially on a pitch that's quite bubbly and you know, hard to get the ball down on the ground. So I think he's done a solid job so far.
Certainly hasn't shirked any physical responsibility. He's gone in hard. We're talking about Burke Farling. He's basically a ball of muscle, Burke Farling, and he's thrown himself into him a couple of times, showing that he's willing to get involved.
Yeah, I think in such a big, important game, you can't be shirking any challenges, especially not against someone like Farling, who's such a powerful, explosive player.
Kamara with the throw now for Weston, just on the defensive side of halfway. A discussion with the 4th official about how far forward he can go to throw this. Up to halfway he goes. Hatfield tries to get to it. Ensor controls it with the head, then lofts it back. Iwasaki. Jarrah Baker thinking about another little back heel on for himself, I reckon. All these balls getting a lot of height on them as fatigue kicks in for some of the players. Hatfield. Ingram takes it away. Doesn't look like there's a lot in that, but just Hatfield just pushed him away at the last second.
Yeah, foul, nothing more for me.
Yeah, agree. And the referee's done a good job of just jumping in where he needed to be involved so far today. Ryan Ensor getting told to move along by the referee. Masaki and Kresner come together. Ball beats them both. Kamara. That ball crosses the line, and the assistant referee's got that there. It'll be a throw in deep in attacking territory for the Magic. As we head towards half-time here. Magic, if they get another one here, you think it'd almost be curtains. You don't like to call the game at half-time, but a 3-goal lead against a side like, for a side like Broadmeadow, I should say. As I said before, they've only lost one this year. It'd be very hard to peg back. Yeah,
absolutely. I think the next goal is going to be crucial, whether that's Magic or Weston. If Magic get the 3rd goal, then I think it's going to be extremely difficult for Weston to get it back. But if they get the next one and make it 2-1, then it's game on again.
The momentum, especially if they get that now before half-time, as Evans wins out against Joes. Now they're working forward here. Hatfield. Beecham just got him a little high. Again, I don't think there was much malice in it, but he was just, like you said earlier about one of the other challenges, he just wasn't letting him go past, throwing the high contact, and the referee had no option but to go to the pocket.
Yeah, I think Beecham knew he was beaten once that ball got in behind him, and I think he knew he just had to foul him. Magic might be a bit hard done by back in their front half, not getting the foul, but you get some decisions and you don't get some. So this time it fell in favour of Weston.
Well, Beecham's now got a yellow card to go with his earlier penalty. Farling. Just sneaking an extra metre. A little bit of gamesmanship there. The referee wasn't paying attention. I'll take a little bit.
Yeah, if the ref's got his back to you, then, I've seen that many a time where players try to sneak a few more metres just to get that extra meterage.
Yeah, the irony is then when he hits it and it goes over the crossbar though, right?
Yeah,
puts this one in, plenty of spin across. Farling's ball curled in. Archibald, just a couple of hands in the back. It would have been interesting to see if that had gone in the back of the net, what the referee's decision might have been.
Yeah, it looked like it was 2 hands in the back there. I'm not sure what the decision would have been if it went in the back of the net, but it was always going to be hard for Blake Archibald to get that in the net with how much he had to generate all the pace off that cross.
Ball chip forward here. Kresner for Baker. He's looking again. Roebuck down to this one. It's awkward off the boot, but Roebuck read it well. Roebuck goes long, looking for Beveridge. He's left uncontested. Buswell chips it forward. Not quite sure what he's looking to engineer there. Either way, nice and easy for Alvarez just to take his time now. Drive it long and flat. Early will get ahead to it. Just push it across the sideline. Time winds down here in the first half. Magic leading 2-0. Penalty via their captain, Tom Beecham. And a second goal Going the way of Jared Baker, the man who earned that first penalty. Jose now. Little nudge there from Farling. Some people in the crowd with some very forthright views there, Andy. They're vocal over on the far hill here at Magic Park.
Yeah, they certainly are. They're very vocal here at Magic Park, and you know, I think they're almost kind of like the 12th man for them here. You know, especially when the referee's over this side and they're all yelling and screaming and, you know, giving the ref something to think about.
All across the end. Kresner and Baker both caught in two minds. I think they thought the other was going to take it. It's great to see with the sun out. A good solid crowd coming in today to enjoy some football. And again, Magic fortunate they're able to host it today. Obviously yourselves and some other clubs over recent weeks. Not only regular season games but semi-finals. Yeah, you've had back-to-back weeks of having to transfer them to the synthetics. It's great that we can still get underway, but having that home crowd support, just as you said, that 12th man. Yeah,
absolutely. It was disappointing not to be able to use that advantage. You know, we earned the home qualifying final, and it was disappointing that the weather wasn't good enough to hold at our home ground. But it's always good to play at Spears Point because you know you're playing on a good surface.
Weston working here. Hatfield ball into the legs, and he'll earn a throw just shy of halfway. Ryan Ensel kindly reminding the referee that the throw has be taken from behind halfway. Musa Kamara paying no attention to that though. Beveridge, little nudge on Jack Simmons on the way through, and now charge up and try and put pressure on Alvarez. Evans will come forward, slices it out off the instep of the right boot. Archibald to Archibald. Dom coming around, takes a strike across the face. That was one of those ones. Alvarez must have just got a little feather on that. That was one of those ones I was talking about before, Andy, where I'm not sure whether he's taking a shot or whether he's crossing it, but he would have claimed it if it went in.
Yeah, the old shot come cross. I definitely think that was a cross, but probably not the exact area where he intended it to go. But yeah, it almost found the back of the net.
They say they don't draw pictures on the scoreboard. Doesn't matter how it goes in. Look, Farling, they've had a plethora of corners down this end. Weston. Interestingly, just two players inside the 18-yard box as he strides in, and now they surge in. He goes short. Early an air swing. It fell. Weston and now Evans. Farling calling for the ball very quickly. Our camera operator nearly got taken out with that ball. Into the box here, and a little too much sauce on it. It'll trickle away for a goal kick.
Yeah, Weston pushing hard, really hard late in this first half, but just unable to find an end product.
And obviously aware what a momentum swing it'd be. Obviously going in at 2-0. As we said, it's not done, but going in at 2-1 with a late goal, tails will be up, you'll be all about, and the conversation in that change room with Q Allianz is going to be a very different one.
Yeah, absolutely. Would be potentially a big momentum changer if Weston were to get one before half-time. And yeah, you're right, your half-time talk might be a little bit different if you're 2-1 down as opposed to 2-0.
You're going to keep pushing forward. 3 or so minutes of regulation time and then stoppages before we go to the sheds. Interesting conversations for both coaches at half-time at this stage. Hatfield plays it forward. Beveridge, a nice little ball in front for Hatfield. Does well to take it away from Beecham. Plays it out in front of Archibald. He's got an open line if he can get a strike. Feeds it in. Couldn't quite get there. They beat everyone. No touches. We'll have a goal kick. Well, Alvarez just happy to take a breath. Looking promising from Weston. It's just that final touch, that final pass, that final ball.
Yeah, it's just not quite coming together for Weston in the final third. I'm not sure if that was an attempted shot or an attempted pass from Blake after just missing the mark.
Feels like some of those last line passes are almost as much hopeful as they are intentional at the moment for Weston. They're just having to chance their hand. That said, the amount of opportunities they're creating to get down into that third makes you think that they've got the ability to peg back 2 goals here if they can. You feel like if one comes, 2 might come very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they've...
A little bit of push and shove here between Ingram and Hatfield. I didn't see what started it. And the last we saw was Ingram collide into the back of Hatfield and he was prone on the ground.
Yeah, seemingly the ball went out of play before that coming together happened. So Magic throw-in.
Interesting times. There's certainly some emotion. Evans. Kresner rolling about. Didn't look like there's a lot in it, but we've got a very tough angle. The referee was all of about 6 metres away, though, so I think Evans had his boot up and got the ball, and whether Kresner's just turned into it. And he's remonstrating with the referee, though. Plenty of atmosphere here. The fans from Magic getting behind them. Ingram now with the throw. Can't control that. Magic and Weston will take a throw back deep in their defensive territory. A little bit more spice coming into this as we head towards half-time. A few tempers starting to fray.
Yeah, I think it's getting a little bit more heated now the longer the game goes on.
It certainly is. We'll see if everyone can keep things in check. The thing for Magic as it stands at the moment, the last thing they want to be doing is having someone who might get a yellow or less be a second yellow, even worse, and then they're down a player for, what at the moment, based on live scores, would be progression to the grand final. Obviously still a full half of football to come, though. Fourth official gives us 3 minutes of added time. Alambini takes it away and just pushes it across the sideline. Archbold, Dom Archbold, that is, will take the throw. His brother tries to present an option. He's going to have to go long, and I'm not quite sure what he's thinking with that one. To Ensor, and Beveridge blocks it and goes across the sideline just shy of the corner flag. So Magic will have a throw very deep in defensive territory. Magic, you feel Andy might have picked up about 20 metres before they threw that. It looked like it went out just next to the corner flag. Nancaro chipping it forward here, trying to get past Archibald, but the ball beats them both.
Yeah, that throw-in looked to be just about on the corner flag, and it looks like he's taken about 20 metres, you're right. Certainly got them to the position that they're in now.
Certainly plenty of feedback from the crowd. Sounds like some Weston fans down there in the southeastern corner as this ball gets out in front of Hatfield, is going to beat everyone. That belied. Most of these passes have been sort of bobbling across the pitch. That just raced across the surface.
It's not an easy surface to play on, this one, Chris. Very bobbly, and sometimes you're fighting with your first touch to get the ball under control.
Certainly seemed that way so far today. Push across the sideline, and Weston will take a throw. All in. Beveridge does well. Nice turn away from Ensor. Takes a strike just wide. Again, just feels like the frustration building for Weston that they haven't been able to get on the score sheet, and felt like that could have been more of a build-up there rather than Beveridge just firing one off in anger.
Yeah, I think Magic will definitely be the happier of the two teams going into half-time at 2-0.
I certainly think so. Into the final 30 or so seconds of stoppage time now at the referee's discretion. Archbold. Blake back to Dom. Now Farling pushing forward. Could they? Would they? Farling. Good strong work again. Beecham's been an absolute standout for them. Archbold, Jose takes it away, falls for Beveridge. Spins wide, Archbold on the volley. Takes a deflection off a player's back. Will it hold up inside the byline? It will. No, it won't. That looked like it took a deflection, but they're not going to matter because the referee's going to say we are heading to half-time here at Magic Park. And Andy.
Oh yeah, that's the feeling. Progress. Momentum. Getting somewhere. That's what it feels like when you bank with Newcastle Permanent. With local experts and award-winning customer service. We're here for you, and we're here for good. That's the feeling. Progress. Momentum. Getting somewhere. That's what it feels like when you bank with Newcastle Permanent. With local experts and award-winning customer service. We're here for you, and we're here for good.
Welcome back to Magic Park for the second half.
Weston can take plenty from that first half. They just need to find that final ball, that final pass.
I think it'd be fair to say that Jared Baker's been the difference. He was the creator of the first penalty and the scorer of the second goal, 2 penetrating runs. And now they push forward straight away. Ball threaded in. Beecham. The centre-backs for Broadmeadow have been called on a number of times. Beecham and Diamond originally. Diamond forced off after about 30 minutes with an injury, replaced by Ryan Ensor. Beveridge crosses this one in. Now Archbold winds up, second chance. That was an absolute tracer bullet onto the chest of Luis Alvarez. Keeper positioned himself well and took that. Jose now lays it off. Ensor. Touched on it in the pre-game, Andy. It'll be interesting to see how and when teams use their substitutes here. Obviously the one forced change already for Magic.
Yeah, absolutely. I think especially very important for Weston being 2-0 down. They've got a potential game changer in Aaron and Kuru on the bench, so it'll be very interesting to see when Q Yalians introduces him.
They've got a couple of guys that could certainly set a cat amongst the pigeons. I think Kuru most notably, but even a Burston as well. He can set a cat amongst the pigeons for 2 different reasons. He certainly won't leave the Western fans wondering once he's out there. He'll throw himself in with gusto.
Yeah, it was quite interesting to see both Dylan Burston and Aaron Niankuru on the bench, given they've been stalwarts in this Western team all season.
Certainly is, but at the end of the day, you can only fit 11 players into 11 jerseys, and with the depth of these 2 squads, someone sitting on the bench. Simmons up against Hurley here. Or emerging Jets player doing some work down that right wing for Broadmeadow, and Archbold breaks it up. Camper will take the throw. Looking for Cresden to make a run. And they feed it all the way back to Ensor. Ensor slices it forward. Kamara pushing on Palambini. Hatfield arrives too, and the ball spills out. Opportunity in the box. Dear, oh dear. I'm not quite sure Chris Hurley knew where he was clearing that, but all's well that ends well, and it's a corner for Magic.
Yeah, I think Chris Hurley his thinking was, I just have to get something on this, otherwise Magic play is just going to tap this into the back of the net, and fortunately for him, it didn't end up in the back of the net for Weston.
It looked when it first came off the boot like that might have been where it was going, and you thought, geez, an own goal to make it 3-0 would have been heartbreaking for Weston, but they see it off for now. Ingram will take the corner. Instructions coming from the Magic bench to put it on the keeper. A little overhit, headed away nicely. Good work from Beveridge at the back post. Simmons retreating rapidly. Chips it over. Ensor gets underneath it. Oh. Finds the head of Ingram. Jones pushes it wide. Aaron Baker out on the right edge now. Plays it down for Nankaro. Looks across it in. Hurley this time clinical in his break-up. Feeds it forward, looking for Hatfield. It's going to be a foot race here with Ensor. Ensor gets there first. Has he got enough to get it back to Alvarez just? No, the pass back to him doesn't do him any favours. Hatfield now. He's got players joining him. Cuts across. Goes to ground. A little clip there from Beveridge on Jose. The referee says play on, and as Magic will want to do, they straight away go on the attack. Kresna racing forwards. Hurley keeps him out for now. Baker feeds it back. Evans picks it off, and now Farling will take it the other way. Beats one. Then collects. Nancaro. Doesn't look all that significant of contact, but Nancaro is writhing about in pain. Certainly looked a foul, but again, I think the referee's managed this quite well.
Yeah, I think he's managed the game quite well on the whole so far. I think it was obviously definitely a foul, potentially bordering a yellow card, but yeah, I think the referee's done a good job at controlling this game so far.
Well, the good news is Caden Nancaro is back to his feet for Magic fans. No real sign of any major impediment or injury.
Yeah, the game's become quite stretched in this, been very stretched in this first opening 5 to 10 minutes of this half, and there's been a lot of transition, so it'll be interesting to see how the rest of this half unfolds.
It's certainly going to be interesting, isn't it, when you think, you know, how's the tank going to be if these guys are going end to end, as this is pulled in, and again, it didn't really look like a shot, but it was far too heavy to be sat up as a ball for anyone to attack onto.
Yeah, I think Simmons will be disappointed with that cross to the back post, just too much on it.
Early, down the line for Dom Archbold. Back inside, Blake Archbold tries to return it to Dom, but just a little too heavy. You can see what they're trying to do there, that combination. As you often see with siblings, they've just got that sixth sense, but not quite on at that point. When they can get going together, it's ominous. Ezra Palambini has a little slip. Kamara plays it back. Roebuck drives it long and wide, looking for Archbold. It's a good header on it. Beecham comes back. Archbold, Farling. Beveridge, nice touch. Hatfield puts it back behind Evans. Buswell, sorry. Kresner. Archbold gets a nudge for his efforts. Roebuck clears it as far as Simmons. Jose comes away, dispossessed by Buswell, and all of a sudden Weston now surging forward, out in front for Hatfield. He cuts back against the grain on Ensor. Buswell gets it. Can he get a strike away just inside the 18-yard box? He can, but Alvarez up to it. Off the left boot, just didn't have enough power to test the keeper.
Yeah, it was a very good opportunity for Weston. I just don't think Buswell just, yeah, like you said, he just didn't get the power that he wanted to really test Alvarez.
A few of those so far for Weston. Baker pushing forward on Roebuck here. Roebuck skews that off the outside of the right boot. Kamara's not going to be able to get hold of it as it takes an off break and cuts across the sideline.
Yeah, I think any back pass on this surface is going to be a bit of a nightmare for the keepers.
Kamara does well. Just pushes it across the body of Palambini and gets it out of play again. You've certainly seen a few of the back passes, sometimes even just passes in general, getting the weight right and then the bobbles that you're getting off this surface. As Baker beats one, beats two, and the ball beats him across the line.
Yeah, I think Weston are putting a little bit more attention into Jared Baker in this half, but you sort of Magic have threats all over the park, so you can't focus too much on one player, otherwise you leave yourself open to other players exploiting the space.
Yeah, certainly when you've got the likes of Kresner, Nancaro, even Palambini. Ball pops out now. Beveridge racing back. Beecham's there. Alvarez comes out of his box and just uses his boot like a sandwich and chips it across the sideline. Archibald back to Hurley. Hurley switches the point of the attack to Kamara on the right. He chests it, a heavy touch. Palambini down. He's back to his feet now. Not quite sure what's happening here. Referee just checking on Beveridge. He's holding his right hamstring. Hopefully nothing too serious. Had some very good touches so far today, starting up front in that front two originally. Beveridge alongside Hatfield. Ball goes into the 18-yard box now. Opportunity. Shot taken, parried away by Alvarez. Hatfield coming again, but it's headed off over the byline by Ensor. Playing it safer on Ensor, the centre back, and another corner. Must be creeping up towards double digits, the corners that Weston have had so far today.
Yeah, absolutely. Weston piling on the pressure again early on in this first half, and a good reaction save from Alvarez.
Yeah, curled into the penalty spot. Beecham, the man that meets it with his head. Archbold trying to get there, but away come Magic. Ball threaded back towards the centre of the field, and now it sits back for Dom Archbold, and Evans. He's going to try and flick it across and find Blake Archbold, but Simmons gets a head in and pushes it across the line. Evans plays it on. Nice little 1-2 ball returning to him. They go out wide for Farling. He's got a little bit of space, but Ingram quick to close that down alongside Palambini. Be careful committing too many numbers to him. Kamara. Evans now. Well broken up there, Kresner. Kamara heads it forward. Palambini sends it back. Evans controls it. Uses his teammate. Farling does well. Evans switches it wide out in front of Archbold. Can he track this down? I think he will, just inside the touchline. Does well to keep it in the field. Archbold's combined again. And we're going to see a change here. Beveridge is going to come off. Nyankuru will come on. What sort of spark can this add to the attack?
Yeah, I think Aaron Nyankuru will give Weston a bit of a different dimension. Very good ball control, very good close ball control. Very much a combination player in that final third, whereas Brock's more of a player that likes to run in behind. So it'll be interesting to see if they can craft out more chances through the centre of Magic's defence.
Well, a force change. We saw Beveridge just holding that hamstring, and irrespective of what's going on, obviously Weston are looking for a spark, and I don't doubt that that was probably the change that would have come later. Q Yallian's plans probably just accelerate a little bit because he won't want to risk Brock Beveridge. Because either way, irrespective of whether it stays 2-0 or they do go down, or if they do manage to come back and win this game, they've got another game to play this season at a minimum, and he's going to be a key part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got at least one more game left to play. So, yeah, I think it might have been a bit more of an enforced change, but yeah, it's just been brought forward a little bit more. I think that change would have happened eventually anyway.
Early slips back against Kresner, just shepherds that across the line, and we'll see what comes now. Nyankuru, can he add that spark? It means that Hatfield will settle back into that centre forward role. He's playing a bit wider with Beveridge in the middle before. Farling looks to switch this wide for Archbold, but he can't quite get it forward where he wants it. Dom Archbold will clean up the header. Now it comes to Evans. Nyankuru accelerating into space. Gets past one. Couldn't get a shot away, but there you go. First touch already creating danger. Now he's in the box. Falls for Hatfield. Alvarez there on the spot again. He's only been called on a small handful of times. Well, it's Alvarez, but almost all of them he's been up to the task.
Yeah, he's made some good saves, but at the same time, Weston again just failing to find the corner. They've hit quite a few straight down the throat of the keeper, so they'll want to try and be more clinical and find the corners rather than hitting it straight down the throat of Alvarez.
You feel they probably need to challenge him a little more. Farling pushes it wide. Here's Nyankuru now. There's that bobble we're talking about. Just popped up over the boot. Understandably so. The substitute looks a little frustrated. Magic take the throw. Farling comes back, heads it defensively, goes all the way back to the captain in Hurley. He decides that he wants to go further back and falls to the top of the 18-yard box with Roebuck. Drives his boot through it, goes long. Going to force Alvarez out. A little mistake at the back, Beecham. Hatfield appealing that the keeper handled it outside the box. Certainly wasn't clear from my angle, but possible.
Yeah, it was very hard to tell. There could have been a hint of a handball, but I don't think it was absolutely clear-cut.
No, Chris Hatfield irate there. Again, yet to see a referee change their decision, and what's going to end up happening is Chris Hatfield might find himself in the book if he carries on. Referee now determines to send Sam Camper all the way back on the throw. Palambini again appeals for handball. We are coming back for handball here.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit more clear-cut than the other one.
I haven't really seen the whistle blown. A little bit of confusion reigning. Kamara gets to the outside, beats Palambini once, beats him twice, but the pass again. Moose's radar just has not been on for him today. Really struggled to find teammates with those balls. Getting himself into some really good areas, but just want to find that pass on a target.
Yeah, it's obviously not his most preferred position. Right back is usually a midfielder. But yeah, he has failed to hit the target a few times, but he's getting into good positions.
Buswell does well here. Ensor, a clumsy challenge, doesn't come away with it. Buswell look for a teammate. Again, Beecham's there. Skips past Niankuru. Evans puts it into the box of Niankuru. Heavy touch. Simmons clears it away. Took a deflection of Niankuru. Palambini will just try and shepherd this across the line. No, plays it forward. Now Kamara, can he find a target here? That's better. Niankuru under pressure from two defenders. Somehow manages to hang on to it on the first three goes, but the fourth time turns it over. Baker puts on the pace, and possibly the only man who can go with him on the field is Niankuru. He's tracking back there. Archbold does well. Plays it back into the legs. Archbold wins out and takes it away. Burke Farling now. Centers it up. Evans. Iwasaki. Here's Kamara again. Back to the centre-back at Iwasaki. He'll work with his centre-back partner, Hurley, the captain. Farling, straight out to Archbold. Archbold's going to try and take it on the outside, laying it out for Niankuru, but Beecham drifts it down towards the 18-yard box, out in front of Nankaro. Up against Hurley, and Nankaro again. Just wide of the target, just a rush of blood there. Could have been the sealer, you feel?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Weston got away with that a little bit there.
You see a change here. Evans coming off, is it? Evans for Burston. Weston make their second rotation. Yeah, Magic starting to look at some conversations on their bench. Are they going to go for a second rotation as well?
Yeah, it looks like Moose is coming into midfield with Burston playing right back.
Now Hurley working it forward. Farling's there, but he goes to Archbold. Does well, trap the ball, keep it in field. Goes down the line, nice play out in front of Buswell. He's trying to lure a magic boot, and he does. And get the throw straight away, goes into the box, looking for Hatfield. Ensor, though, bodies him out, and Alvarez falls on the ball. Temper's really starting to fray here. Palambini remonstrating with the referee, even though the decision went in his favour.
Yeah, Dylan Burston's first involvement in the game was a crunching tackle. Not sure if he looked like he won the ball, but it might have been the manner in which he he lunged into the tackle, which forced the foul.
You touched on it earlier. He won't be backwards in coming forward, Dylan Burston. We called that the game against your side in the Australia Cup, and I think similarly the first thing that he did when he was on the field and involved in some action was a foul, and then might have even picked up a yellow card a little later. Damien Zane commented on it. His propensity to change a game, more often than not in a positive, but occasionally it can be a little rush of blood that sees things go wrong. Archibald, acrobatic there. Tried to get a little too cute. Takes a shot. Alvarez parries it. That's better from Weston, forcing a save and earning a corner.
Yeah, Weston actually making Alvarez work for his money there, forcing him to make a diving save. So I think they can take a positive out of that and potentially build on this moving forward for the rest of the game.
Farling again over the corner, as he has been a myriad times today. Curls it in well past the back post, beats everyone. That's a little disappointing for Weston. That's probably been the least threatening of all their corners.
Yeah, I think Farling will be disappointed with that delivery, just over-hitting that.
So I've got a double change coming for Magic. So Reggie Jose will come off. He'll be replaced by Jeremy Wilson. Jesse Hill looks like he's coming on for Jared Baker. Interesting changes. Just looking to shore things up, maybe Jim Kresner. Protect his strike weapon in Baker and put a bit of experience into the midfield just to clamp things down a little.
Yeah, potentially taking off Baker, who's been probably the man of the match of this game so far and caused Weston all sorts of problems. So, yeah, it looks like he's just sort of looking to consolidate that 2-0 lead.
Early trying to get it in behind for Archibald to be in a foot race here with Camper. Archibald will win, first touch. Again, maybe question the fact he looked like he was just happy to play straight for the corner there rather than assess the opportunities on his first touch.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to look to get the ball into a good area, not necessarily aiming for anyone, but I don't think he got the contact that he wanted to on that Dom Archibald. But there's that long sweeping pass from Hurley in behind again.
Certainly Chris Hurley's forte. It's well suited at a pitch surface like this. Burke Farling with another corner. Curls this one in again. Iwasaki this time. He does get some contact just beyond the back post, but can't control it. Really insistent on hitting it to the back post and beyond and try and bring it back across.
Yeah, that was a better delivery that time from Farling, but maybe still slightly overhit just behind Iwasaki. Couldn't direct it on target.
Well, Alvarez happy to take his time. The referee decides to move him along now. Goes long. Iwasaki does well to win out there over Nankaro. Burston under pressure from Palambini, but just shepherds it across the line again. Weston just over 20 minutes to find something. Iwasaki trickles it back. Roebuck kicks the cover off it. Hatfield, Archibald again. A little bit of confusion between Weston. It feels like communication not at the forefront for the Bears. Roebuck races out of that one. I thought when Hurley pulled away, it might have been a dicey piece. Weston just a little mistake starting to mount. Hill. Nice slicing run. Hurley just takes it away, though. Beautiful ball out to Hatfield. Can he get to the outside of Ensor? No, he can't. The first touch a little too heavy. Understandably so, and Ensor comes away with it, playing it down the line to Palambini. And Caro, I was going to say that surely that flag was going to go up. Not sure about Dom Archibald's method of communication with the assistant referee there, the oi. An interesting choice.
It's one way to get the linesman's attention.
Bears now working it out of defence. Hurley again. Dom Archbold. Back to Hurley. And Caro out in front. Hill into the box. Then Caro again. Burston does well. First attempt was missed. Second attempt gets the ball clear. Niankuru tracking back. Returns it to Burston. He'll drive long. Again. Those loose passes just finding magic jumpers more often than not. Farling just muscles out Niankuru. He didn't stand a chance, the youngster. Out in front now for Buswell. Back in for Archbold. Puts it forward. His brother Blake. That was an optimistic pass. Trying to thread it through 4 or 5 red jerseys to find Niankuru. Iwasaki tracking back across. Magic. I think it's fair to say, Andy, 1 foot in the grand final at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. They're looking pretty comfortable at the moment. I think Weston need to do something different, and the most effective play this half has been when they've given that ball to Hurley, and he's just played that ball, whether it's been a straight one in, but straight long ball or a diagonal long ball in behind. I think that's where they've looked their most threatening, rather than playing little intricate passes in their back third where they've turned the ball over.
It seems hard for either side to really string too many short passes together on this surface, which is understandable. I think even how good it looks on screen probably belies how it's actually playing. There's a lot of patchy spots. It's done well to recover to the point it has, and it's held up pretty well today in terms of hasn't really deteriorated. Probably beneficial too. They didn't have the reserve grade semi-final here. They played it out at Lake Macquarie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Early, just down. Just gave up a little early. Ball did go across the line though, and got to be careful there, giving up on a pass like that. Hill was up to the task and gave it absolutely everything to try and reel it in, and Weston were napping. Farling out to Burston. Now he comes back. Iwasaki, Hurley. Just feel that Weston need to find some urgency, some killer instinct here, something. Alvarez comes out, easily takes that one, shepherded by Beecham. Straight away, Magic go back, pushing forward through Camper. Burston does well to win out there. Again, communication just pulls apart for Weston, and now Magic go forward. A wall of red jerseys advancing, trying to put the pressure on. Can they find it in the box? Hurley, last line of defence, clears it away. Kresner knows he's only millimetres away from the sealer then. Hurley stepping in and getting it done. Palambini down. Something in back play. Referee just had a chat to Burke Farley. I don't know if that was connected.
Yeah, I think in this half there's been 2 instances of a lack of communication for Weston when they could have started a promising attack, and it's ended up coming back the other way. So I think that's definitely something they need to fix as soon as they can.
And we've seen the 2 in this half. We saw the one in the box in the first half where they essentially had a shot, and Beveridge and Farling kind of got in each other's way a little bit, and it didn't amount to a lot. But Magic here looking for the sealer. A 3rd goal at this point would almost certainly lock their progression to the grand final in. Lofted up to the back post. Beecham tries to get up. It beats Beecham and Roebuck. Beecham in the walls, though. He looks like he might have taken a stinger on the shoulder. Just came shoulder to shoulder with Roebuck advancing off his line. That'd be a massive blow if he was to pick up an injury after Diamond had already come off with an ankle complaint. Not just for today, but for potentially a fortnight's time. Ball out in front of Niankuru. The flag goes up. It's a little more promising, though, from Weston, showing some attacking intent.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a really good opportunity for Weston there. If Aaron Niankuru had just held his run a little bit longer, potentially would have stayed on side and had a really good opportunity, goal-scoring opportunity.
Wasn't to be. Ensor now. Goes wide for Hill. Heads it on. Presner. He's got Hill making a run, and a good run it is. Hill couldn't quite control. Archibald got cleaned up by the youngster. Back-to-back challenges for Hill. He's going to go into the book.
Yeah, I don't think you can have any complaints about that one.
Absolutely not. Ball fed into the box, but again, just no runners. No one seemed to know who that pass was for, and they all left it for someone else.
Yeah, lack of communication coming to the fore again. Don't seem to be on the same page today, Weston.
Usually such an organised team. It's unusual. Just a little bit of a disconnect. As we said, the good news is even if they aren't to win today, and it's looking slimmer and slimmer, that chance at the moment, they will have another chance, but I'll tell you what, they're going to come up against a side. And again, don't want to make you relive too much of yesterday. A Lambton side, though, they are absolutely red hot. They haven't lost in 8 games. They're a side that looked like they couldn't buy a goal for the first half of the season, and now they could sell them for fun.
Yeah, they're looking... they had a very slow start to the season, but they've definitely come into their own.
A very different matchup to the time we called them here early in the season, when Magic absolutely decimated them 5-0. So we'll see what that conjures. Either side that takes them on next week is not going to face an easy test, despite likely hosting them on their home turf. The Jaffers are firing. Topple Stanley and McNaughton doing a wonderful job in defence. They've got attacking threats in so many places, and yesterday they were without one of their attacking talismans in Jimmy Oates as well. I mean, not too bad when you can bring in a Matt Cahill who scored the opening 2.
Yeah, absolutely. They seem to have a bit of depth in the attacking position, so it definitely can't hurt their chances next week, whether they come up against Weston or Magic.
Weston need to find something and find it soon if they're going to try and earn themselves the week off. Time ticking down here. Can Farling curl some sort of miracle here? Slice it into the box. Headed away for now. Simmons on the ball. Clears it long. Can't quite be controlled by Kamara. Just been one of those days for a number of the Western players where they just haven't quite been their usual selves, and Musa Kamara has probably been the epitome of that.
Yeah, I don't think Western have been at their best today. I mean, you know, obviously the style of play, they like to play a possession-based game. The surface hasn't helped them, but at the same time, like I said, they've been far from their best. So I think the result as it stands currently is probably a fair one.
At the end of the day, Magic, as we said at half-time, have been the better at taking their opportunities. They've turned the screws here. And I'll tell you what, if it is Weston and Lambton next week, Lambton, it's probably an ominous warning, because I can't see this Western team putting 2 back-to-back performances that have got so much disjointedness to them.
Yeah, they've been such a consistent team across the whole season. They had a bit of a slow start too, but for the majority of the season, they've been very consistent. So I find it hard to see a world where they put two poor performances in.
I know there's plenty of positives to take from this. Again, not quite over at this point as we head towards the final 10 minutes, but it'll be a big turnaround from here. That said, they only need 2, and then they can go into extra time. And again, your club, Edgeworth, know only too well how much they can turn the screws when it gets to extra time coming up against them in the Australia Cup.
Yeah, it's exactly right. They can go the full 120. So, you know, if Western can get a goal back soon, then, you know, things can change really, really quickly in football. So they do need to get one soon. But if they are able to do that, then they're more than capable of getting a second and beating Magic in extra time as well. So, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what happens in this last 10 minutes.
That's probably a great example. That game, that first half they put in against you guys was probably one of their, again, it was quite disconnected. They seem a little lacklustre. They're coming off a short turnaround. Came out in the second half and I'm sure on reflection you would have identified it too. They looked a different team, so
Yeah.
that's just been the challenge. I haven't been able to find that extra gear today. And now Magic will start managing the clock as we head into these final 10 minutes. Alvarez falls on this one, sends his troops forward. Magic happy to play it at their end. Palambini couldn't get that. That was a rocket coming off the right boot of Kresner. It's at the time here. He's just going to make sure.
Yeah, Kresnar seemed to think that was destined for the top corner, judging by his reaction.
Kemper just wandering down the line. Hurley gets a header. Kamara coming forward. Slightly undercooks the pass. Farling loses his footing. Now Simmons will take a shot. Roebuck with a slip. Palambini gets to it. Roebuck recovers. Hill was advancing, but Archibald cleared it. That would have been the icing on the cake. Nankuru can't control it. Beecham gets clipped. That'll be a foul against Aaron Nankuru. Not a lot in it. And Tom Beecham seems to have worn that a lot worse than it looked from here.
Yeah, definitely a foul. I'm not sure that was one that Hatfield needed to make. It looked like Beecham took a bit of a heavy touch and it was kind of getting away from him, and Blake Archibald was ready to take possession, but yeah, unfortunately for Weston, he's made the foul.
Ryan Ensor, as he is wont to do, giving some feedback to Aaron Nankuru. He's always happy for a chat when you see Ryan Ensor out there.
Yeah, he's...
you know, you're a former teammate, as you said. You've probably been on both sides of it.
Yeah, absolutely. He doesn't mind having a bit of a chat out on the field.
Fourth official just giving the ball boys a dressing down. I'm not sure what happened there. It's all happening. Jack Simmons lays it down, looking for Nankaro. Finds him after an air swing from Burston. Iwasaki does well to keep the ball in. Nankaro gives away a foul. Wasn't anything major, just cynical holding Iwasaki back. Yeah, I'm not sure what Cody Nankaro's arguing against there. Burke Farling raises forward. Cody Nankaro, he's going to go in the book. That's just silly. He's had an absolute brain fade there. Back to back. Doesn't even need to be too significant if you go that quickly in succession to get a yellow card, does it?
Yeah, and that was a very cynical foul.
Archibald, Dom to Blake. Thinks about going back to Dom. Feeds it back into Farling. Farling curls it in. Looked like it was going to be nicely sitting for Buswell, but it was broken up well by Ingram. Burston will take the throw. Time pressure on top for Weston, and again, they just can't string those passes together. Kamara does well to break that up. Farling sits it back for Hurley. Hurley spins away from Kresnar. Kamara on again. Pushed forward, tapped on by Archibald. Hill tries to come away. Hatfield just dispossesses him easy as you like. Tom Beecham has been in the absolute wars. He gives one away there, but that was knee-on-knee contact. That would not have tickled. He's taken knocks on his ankle, his knee, his shoulder, and pretty much everything else today, Beecham. He's been in the wars.
Yeah, he's been amongst all the action today, Tom Beecham. Been very solid in defence like he is always. So I think even Ryan Ansel's come in and been really solid as well. So although Weston haven't been very clinical in front of goal, Magic have defended pretty well too.
They certainly have. We've seen a few last line defences. Obviously Ben Diamond was the absolute heart and soul before he went off in the first half, and Ensor's picked up where he left off. Beecham's been busy. Hatfield will stand over this on his own. About 26 out from goal. You feel that he'll have eyes for the top corner here. No, he tries to go bottom. Misses the target. Doesn't get a deflection. But Magic will now make another two changes. Palambini will come off. Jaden Stewardson goes on. Nankaro will come off. Tom Parks will come on. And I'm really not surprised after those back-to-back fouls and a yellow card that Jim Kresner has decided to hook Cody Nankaro.
Yeah, there's no point in keeping him on with 5 or so minutes to go on a yellow card and risking getting a second yellow. So especially when you've got the likes of Parks and Stewartson on the bench who can come on and do a job for the last 10 or so.
Also got a change for Weston. Kalen Law on for Blake Archibald, the youngster. A bit of an electric wild card. Again, you talk about players coming off the bench. Jaden Stewartson to be able to come on at this point as well.
Yeah, he's a very handy player to have off the bench. You know, big boy can hold the ball up, and he's good nuisance value up there, up top.
He's a big physical presence. He stands out, that's for sure. Time ticking down here. Broadmeadow inching closer to securing just another grand final berth. Feels like almost par for the course, Magic being into the grand final. Flag goes up, flag stays down. Parks trying to work it around in close quarters against Burston. Can't control it though, we'll have a goal kick inside the final 5 minutes here, and you feel it might be all a little too much for Weston from here. All signs pointing to Weston versus Lambton at Rockville Automation Park next weekend for a spot to take on the Magic in the grand final. But never say never. Weston fans will have everything crossed at the moment to think they could conjure something. Willis Alvarez might like to have that over again. He's absolutely got underneath it. Musa Kamara bodies out but doesn't win it. Hill, Kresner, going himself, feeds it in. Parks couldn't get a touch and it just rolls away. Early down. Kresner perplexed by the fact that he didn't get a corner there. Western trainer called on for Hurley. Challenge for Western now is, if my maths is correct, they've already made 3 rotations, so the captain's going to need to soldier on. He just waves away the trainer's run all the way out to the physio, and as soon as she got to Chris Hurley, he's just said, no, that's fine, you can go back to where you came from. I didn't want treatment. Magic want him to go off, and the referee says, no, he didn't take any treatment, so it's okay, we'll continue on. Roebuck kicks that out. You feel that Western are now resigned to their cause. Magic still arguing the fact around Hurley coming off. Sometimes people like to really split hairs in this game, Andy, I think.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I think if you don't get treatment, you don't need to go off, so I think Magic are clutching at straws there.
Parks working to the byline. Iwasaki does well to keep it in. Somehow manages to get out of a 2-man press. They don't clear it far. Buswell gets it, lays it off for Farley, and away he goes. Racing away the American import over halfway. He's got Burson with him if he wants to use him. Crosses it back in, looking for Hatfield, but it was too fast for any to chase. Again, just a little too late. It's more of what you want to see from Western, though.
Yeah, it was a good opportunity to work something on the transition there, but once again, that final ball just didn't seem to hit the target.
Ball beats Archibald and Hill. Hurley gets to it. Can Weston just grab one back just to add a little spark to the end of this game? A little bit of respectability to the scoreboard. Some confidence heading into the preliminary final. Dom Archibald plays it forward, misdirected though. Yeah. Max Simmons. His torso wanted to run faster than his feet did then. The shadows creep over Magic Park late in this game. It's back now for Buswell. Magic foray forward again. Kresner, Iwasaki. And both seem more interested in tackling each other than chasing the ball, but Kresner runs afoul of the referee. The hand on the shoulder, probably the overkill that didn't need to be happening. This feels like both teams are ready to call this a day at the moment, the way they're going about these last few exchanges.
Yeah, I think so. I think Weston are going to need a minor miracle here if they're going to get the scores back level. They need to score right now.
I feel like there's a few of the Bears that are already resigned to their fate. Chris Hatfield is not one of those. He is absolutely trying everything here. He beats two, then Beecham gets a touch. We'll have a corner. If they could score here, it would set a cat amongst the pigeons. It would be a finish for the ages. Burke Farling, he's had plenty of practice runs at this, as the fourth official indicates 4 minutes of added time. And his game on if they can find the back of the net here, the Western Bears. Farling curls it in. This time he's short. Sits up. Again, a little bit of miscommunication. Two players coming for the ball, then both hesitating. Dom Archibald, Iwasaki calling for it at the back post. He lost his footing, and it's headed away by Kresner. And all of a sudden now, Magic, as they have done earlier today, go on the counter. They surge numbers forward. Wilson pushing up. Hill is there. He's calling for it. He was in behind the line with Archibald keeping him on side, but Archibald takes it away. Now, frenetic end-to-end football to finish this major semi-final. We've seen some things today. Wilson comes sliding in. Got the ball, says the referee. Hatfield disappointed, but I think he knew that he was taking a long shot on by appealing for that one.
Yeah, crunching tackle from Wilson there. I think it was definitely a fair tackle, though.
What can they come with here, Weston? Time ticking down in stoppage time. 4 minutes total to play. Ticks away. And the goal kick will come there from Alvarez. He'll take his time. He'll wander over to the opposite corner of the box. See how long he can get away with. Sets the ball.
Yeah, just letting the clock tick down here.
A little bit of gamesmanship and then a drive it long. He gets underneath it again. Plenty of backspin on the ball. Farling heads it forward for Hatfield. Kalen Law makes an advancing run. Barswell pushes it wide for Dom Archibald. Archibald tracked by Ingram. Niankuru's there with him. That's where he goes. Returns the favour. Magic just trying to close down the lanes to goal. Kalen Law's there. Slides inside in the 18-yard box. Threads it in, but Alvarez picks it up at the right post. And again, he'll manage the clock here, Luis Alvarez. Goes to his captain. The opening goal scorer in Beecham. He drives it long looking for Stewardson. Thurston's there. Hurley converges. Thurston rolls it out towards Archibald. Weston not completely done yet. I'm going to try and take some positives from the finish of this game into next week's. Niankuru. Back to goal. Now he turns. Gives it to Kamara. Returns it to the captain, Hurley. Will he think about a strike? No. Chips it wide. Undercooks it. Works okay. Farling comes sliding in. That one's going to get him in the book. And this is where Weston need to be careful. If they do go into next week, someone like a Burke Farling getting a second yellow card, if they advance to the grand final, then will then sit out.
Yeah, he'd certainly be a big miss. I think there was just a bit of frustration there. And yeah, Weston just need to keep cool heads. They've still got a game next week regardless.
Certainly do. Both these sides will have at least one more game, possibly two more for the Bears. They might be able to resume this rivalry in a fortnight. Only time will tell. Ryan Ensor sluices it wide for Hill. Pops it in for Stewardson. Iwasaki outfoxes him. Kalen Law advancing, wanted the ball. Iwasaki gives it away though. And the Magic drive it into the crowd. Can't be too long left. We're just at the referee's discretion now. Magic ball boy. Pass it on. Jim Kresner takes it down. Hurley in no rush. Time ticking away. Hurley goes long looking for Hatfield. Ensor gets a boot on it. Wilson returns it to Hurley. Hurley pushes it wide. Archibald's got space. Ingram's going to close it down. He trips over the ball. And again, that probably just sums up Weston's day. The referee says that's full time, and Broadmeadow Magic are into another grand final. For the third year running, the Premiers booked their ticket to the decider. They were clinical, they were composed, and when Weston threatened, they dug deep and stood firm. Jim Kresner's men now get 2 weeks to reset, recover, and prepare for a shot at another title on the Magic honour roll. Andy, that's 3 from 3 for the Magic against Weston this year. What impressed you most about the way Broadmeadow went about this game?
I think they came into this game with a game plan and executed it really well. They know that Weston's a team that likes to move the ball possession-based. They move the ball quickly, and they were very disciplined in how they defended and were clinical when they had the opportunity in their final third. So they didn't have that many opportunities, but when the opportunities arose, they took them very well. So yeah, I think Magic have been the benchmark over the last couple of years, and they're obviously going to be the ones to beat in the grand final once again.
Well, they set a record for points in the regular season, 50 points in the competition. They advanced through at the first time of asking to the grand final. They're already into the Australian Championship. So much more football to come, but they'll have their eyes firmly fixed on 2 weeks' time, while Weston will adjust their sights to a do-or-die clash with the Lambton Jaffers next week in the preliminary final. We look forward to bringing that one to you. Of course, if you hadn't enough football this weekend, you can switch straight over at 4 p.m. for a kickoff in our elimination final in the Women's NPL Final Series as New Lambton Golden Eagles play against Newcastle Olympic in that do-or-die clash as well, for a chance to take on Maitland FC next week in their preliminary final. But for myself and Andy Polyak, we'd like to sign out and thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next weekend for more finals football.